Hello, welcome to the Pregnant with Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Regina Hasan, and this is a podcast for people who are 60 plus, who are living out or looking for their God-given purpose. We come to celebrate or encourage them. This is the first episode of Pregnant with Purpose, and we are so excited. I am so excited. I'm so nervous. I'm so, I'm going to step over my tongue a couple of times, but that's okay. It's all in the making. As a lot of people have asked me, how did I get this name Pregnant with Purpose? And it came from when I was studying the Word of God, and I was reading about Mary. And when she was told, Mary, you are blessed and highly favored among women. And she was pregnant with the Messiah. And I thought to myself, wow. And it was as if the Holy Spirit spoke to me and said, hey, you're pregnant with purpose too. God created us all with a purpose. And it's just about finding and living it out. So I come to find out that when people turn a certain age, like 60, they start thinking, and even society starts treating them that way, as if that it's over. There's nothing else to live for. There's no relevance to their lives anymore. And I found out that's just not true. If God created us for a purpose, then He has a plan for us to live out the purpose. So that's how I got started with this. But it also included my best friend, Margo Harris, who also received an unctioning from God about doing something for women 60 plus. And Margo got the idea to do a movement called Bobo After 60. So for my first show, I thought it was only appropriate to have her on the show as we talk. And we're just going to do a little discussion, two girlfriends chopping it up. Chopping it up, that's a good word. Two girlfriends chopping it up and talking about how this thing got started and where we're going from now. So I want to introduce to you someone very close to me. I have known her for 36 years. In fact, when I met her, she was 36 years old. And we have gone through many trials and tribulations together, but we have had some good times. She is a stylist. She is an entrepreneur. She is a classy lady. She is a interior designer. She is a mother. Yes, she is a grandmother, and she is a great grandmother. I call her the diva of all divas. My best friend, Margo Harris. That was a pretty good introduction.
Wow. Right? Thank you, Regina.
Yeah, that was pretty good, huh?
That was really good.
Yeah, right.
First of all, I'd like to congratulate you. I am so happy for you.
Thank you,
God. To finally walk in God's purpose for you. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
And I'm grateful that I'm your first guest. I feel so privileged that you asked me to be your first guest.
Of course. It got started with you. And you've been a big motivation.
And you know what the one red rose means.
Mm-hmm.
This is love. I mean, I love you. It's also our logo for Bobo After 60. Mm-hmm. So here's your one red rose. Hercules.
I love it. Thank you, Margo. I know what this means to you. I really.
Yeah.
You gonna cry?
No.
Oh, you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Yeah. So thank you for having me on your show. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for Pregnant with Purpose and where God's going to take that. I'm excited about the women or people, period, over 60 that will be inspired and encouraged to do something with their lives, to find out what God's given purpose is for them. I know for me, for the last 3 years, the thing that keeps me going with it is that women say to me all the time that they are inspired.
Mm.
And just to think about they are inspired by me, it's just like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I must keep going with this because I know that the culture says once you're 60,
it's over.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But the enemy is a lie. It's not.
Yeah.
for us is just beginning in a new season. How it got started?
Tell me.
Yeah. The way it got started was that, like Regina said, my grandchildren all of a sudden were gone. Like my grandson graduated from high school, and every weekend I was hanging out with the family at football games and going over to their house, and all of a sudden he's gone. So I said, okay, God, what's up for me now? I love my interior design business, but I felt like, okay, my life is about to change. So what I did, I went on a solo vacation all by myself to Siesta Keys, Florida for a whole week in a bungalow on a private beach. And boy, did I have a good time with God. So I would sit on the beach and, okay, God, what's up? What's up for me next? And he never at that time told me exactly what it was, but I had this unction that something was about to happen. So I had a great time on the beach. Mm-hmm. Then I came back home. I went to my stylist, and I was sitting there in a chair, and she said...
Hairstylist.
Yes,
because you are the stylist,
yeah.
Right?
I was sitting there, thank you, and my hairstylist, and she said, Miss Margo, it would be great if you got on Instagram and Facebook and have women over 60 follow you. And I said, no, that's just not me. I can't do that. And she said, well, women all the time when I post your pictures are always talking about you being 60 plus. So I said, nah. But then all of a sudden I said, why'd you take my picture? So she took some fabulous pictures of me. Yes. But as I was driving home, God said, do not post any pictures until you get with your girlfriend, Regina and Pam. Pray about it. Then once that happens, if they encourage you to do it, then you can begin to post your pictures. So on the way home, I heard God say, faith, fitness, fashion. In that order.
Right.
He said, I don't want you to be talking about all that fashion stuff, covering up stuff with the outside.
Right.
Until you start talking about your relationship with me. So I got that. And so I called you guys, and I was waiting for you guys to return my call. And I began to journal and listen to what God had to say about this following me after 60. First of all, he said, use your name, your maiden name, Bobo. So I said, okay, Bobo after 60.
That's where it came from, y'all. I know a lot of people ask whenever I say she has a movement, Bobo after 60. A lot of people say, Bobo, where did that name come from? Now you know, it's her maiden name.
It's my maiden name.
Go ahead.
I'm sitting there waiting for you guys to call, and God gave me Ecclesiastes 3:1. And that particular scripture says there's a time and season for everything, and there's purpose. Mm-hmm. So I said, oh, okay, God, that makes sense. It's our season. We're over 60. There's still purpose.
There's still purpose.
And so he told me if I began after talking to you guys, to make sure that I talk about my personal relationship with him. Okay, start there. Then talk about fitness, your temple, and then come with the fashion. So you guys called me. Y'all gave me the confirmation. It was okay. The very next day, I posted the pictures.
Right.
And I got over 100 likes. I said, oh my goodness, I've never had that many likes. That was another confirmation. Mm-hmm. But again, like I told you, he told me to post about faith first and my relationship with him.
Right.
And he let me know out of your greatest ministry would come from your deepest pain.
Wow. Wow.
The faith part, the way I got closer to God was my deepest pain of not feeling good about me. My greatest ministry would come. And so it be that when I began to post about my insecurities and where my insecurities took me, the insecurities took me to places, drugs and alcohol, not feeling good about myself. But eventually, when God touched me and got me closer to Him, I began to work on those issues and those insecurities that had kept me stuck for years. And not only kept me stuck, it kept me, I was always looking good on the outside. The holy underwear in the inside.
Yeah. Wearing that $5,000 Armani suit that got holes in your underwear. I mean, they can't see it, but you know they're there.
So even with my posting about my relationship with God and my delivery and my deliverance, women were really inspired by that. And I think people were really encouraged because of the transparency that I was using on social media. This is where it began, y'all. Right. Don't get it twisted and put those clothes on the outside without taking care of the inside. And the fitness part, of course, goes hand in hand with your relationship with God, because your temple is where the Holy Spirit resides. Right. So you got to keep your temple in order. And then the fashion, he told me to talk about it later at the end, which I majored in fashion. I've been in fashion all my life. So that was very, very natural for me to talk about fashion. And so that's how it started. And you guys say, okay, go for it. Then I got encouraged with social media. And the next thing you know, it was blowing up. And a marketing person got in touch with me and helped me do logos. And then another marketing person, special events person said, Margo, you need to do a launch.
Like, you didn't know what it was.
Launch. Right. It's almost like when you said podcast. Podcast, what is that? So they start preparing me for this launch and what to do. And then I also, with that, began to post women that were 60 plus. And I would ask them, send me a picture, give me a little information about what you're doing in your life now that you're 60 plus. And they did. And so I had all for like 3 months or more, we were posting women that were 60 plus, where they were with their lives. And that also encouraged broader number of women. It did. Over 60. And then the other confirmation that I got right before the launch was that I'm thinking, oh, fashion is kind of like very worldly. And then my pastor got a hold to it, and she thought it was wonderful. And one other pastor said, Margo, do you realize that women 60 plus are lost, that the culture? So what this movement is doing is not conforming to 60 plus in the culture. But this movement can transform women in how they think.
Which then became your tagline.
Which began, not conforming to 60 plus, but transforming 60 plus. Yeah. So we had to launch, and God just showed up and showed out. Who would ever thought that they would have to turn women away? Right. It was standing room only. God gave me the format to use at the launch, which you were one of the main speakers. And we had a panel of women that were 60 plus in different areas. There were breast cancer survivors and CEOs of companies and just different women over 60 that were doing wonderful. Yeah. And it really took off, and it really inspired me to even do more of it, because women, we need to be inspired to do something with our lives after 60. Our grandchildren, most of us, some of us have raised grandchildren and great grandchildren. It's like, we need something for our own lives. So,
and there are some, I'm one of them, that don't have children.
Exactly. And there's
So I
some
don't have grandchildren or, so there's a void there.
and some women over 60, that may be their purpose. And so it may be the movement or Pregnant with Purpose could really ignite something in them if that is their purpose to do what they're doing.
Right.
But the most important thing is that we find out what that is. So this is how it got started. 3 years later, I'm still posting and and for a while until COVID shut us down, we were doing workshops. And so the movement not only talked about fashion, it also was going to be a movement that's very informative as far as things like Social Security,
right?
Wheels, burial,
right?
So it's it's very broad. It could go very broad. It could be encouraging other people that have that are entrepreneurs or that have visions to come under the bubble movement to launch their purpose out, so we can all grow together. So I don't know where God's going to take it, but it's been truly interesting too. What has been interesting for me is when you say yes to God, He just
falls into place. Everything falls into place.
So it's just
like one after another, just like when the decision was made to do a podcast. And I asked the founder of Community Cultivated Network, Jasmine Jones, I asked her about doing a podcast. And my expectation was she was going to say, "Oh, Miss Regina, that's a lot of work. And, I don't really think so." But she didn't. She was like, "Yes." And she was all excited and she started talking fast. And I'm like, "Uh-oh, well, I can't stop now." I was like, I walked into this, and it was on, it was on from there. So when you say yes and just go ahead on and step out on faith.
Even at the launch, Regina, if you remember, you kind of told us about your vision with Pregnant with Purpose. So you knew God was doing something then. We didn't know exactly what it was, but now we know it's podcasting. But you knew then that God was saying to you to do something. I
think that if God gives us all of it at the same time, it would blow our minds and we would drop dead from it would just be, So he gives us a little bit just to get us to the next level, So, I really believe that. But I think if he gave it all to us all at one time, we just wouldn't know what to do with it. And we probably would, run away screaming. So, your lashes look real good. I just wanted to tell you that.
What, girlfriend?
Girlfriend. That's right. The girlfriend. The eyelashes look good.
Thank you.
Right? They look real nice.
Thank you. I did them at the church today.
You did them yourself?
I didn't do them. I'll tell you later who did them.
Oh, okay then.
At the church. Then. After we did our praise dance.
Really? I like those. Okay, so Margo.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about styling. And Margo is my stylist. I tell people that all the time. I do dress myself at times, but it was because of how she kind of like set me up and got me started that, I can pull off some nice outfit. But Margo is my stylist to the point where I just will send her out shopping and say, just call me and tell me how much it's going to cost. That's just how much. But she does it in a way, not for me to mimic her style, but she does it in a way at helping women to identify their own style. And I think that's truly a gift. So tell me about the styling component.
Well,
that you're talking about doing.
Yeah, Bubble stylist. And we'll take off with this soon. Like I said, I've been in fashion all of my life. Majored in fashion, taught fashion. I think it's really important for us to own what we look like, to feel good about what we have on. And some of us don't know how to do that. we mimic things that we see on TV or magazines, but it may not be the best fit for us. And like my other gifts, God has given me a gift to be able to look at a person and really talk to a person to know their personality and to see what they do for a living, how their life functions, and has given me a gift to kind of immerse their wardrobe into that, especially their personality. Because like I said, the most important thing for anyone to look good, especially women, is that they feel good about the way they look.
Right.
Then they can own their look, and then they can rock their look, and it looks good on them.
Right.
So I would like to pursue styling women. And if God says the same, which he has, then that's what I will do.
And so where did you get this from? Where did you get this desire to be a stylist? Where did that come from? I know the answer, but you know, for the interview, for the sake of interview, where did that come from, Margo? Say her name.
Say her name. In fact, God's given me in January, Bubble Stylist, AKA, say her name, Willa Mae.
Willa Mae.
Who was my mom, who was always a very stylish woman. I didn't know anything else. I was raised with a woman that was very stylish. And so she raised me that way with fashion shows and looking good, making sure she instilled in me to make sure that you look good. So I got it from my mom. I got it very natural.
And then the decision to kind of like branch out with Adam, Where Are You? What is that about?
The Adam, Where Are You? It's the movement for men. God said it's time.
Men 60 plus.
Men 60 plus. And God gave me the name Adam, where are you? In other words, what you doing? You know, what you got going on in your life, 60 plus? You know, are you walking and living in purpose? Just like the women.
Right.
So I would like to merge the two. So that's where Adam, where are you, came.
So, you know, I just got to do this little bit part right here, y'all. How are we on time? Crew, how are we on time? Okay. I see.
There's right here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. So, okay. Now I can see that. All right. Right. You know, they're like standing, I got all this light in my face and they're standing in the shadows holding up, which I can't see it. Doing the Pregnant with Purpose, y'all. And let me tell you something. I like to laugh, and, you know, I like to make people laugh. And I think that laughing, you know, especially being able to laugh at yourself is very important. So doing the launch with the Pregnant with Purpose, we started this little thing called You Know You're Old Win. Okay. And I wanted, you know, I may make it a segment of this show where we just do a clip about, you know, just do a little something, you know, and hey, if y'all got some, send them in to me, you know, send them to somewhere. We'll have where you need to send your, you know, your old win. But the very first one I like to click off is that you know you're old when you're given a device. You know, one of those devices that, you know, that will turn on your lights and, you know, that will, you know, tell you what the weather is, you know, but you have to call that device by name. You know you're old when you can't remember the device's name. You know that you're old when you want the weather and you're talking about Amanda, Annie, and I'm not going to call any names on who did this, but those of you all who know who I'm talking about, you know, she got a new device. She was so happy that she got Alexa and she wanted to know the weather. And what did you say? What's your name, girl? Girl, what is your name? Because they won't answer unless you say your name, right?
No, she made me mad. I was really mad at myself because I couldn't think of her name. I said, girl, what's your name?
So,
come on, girl.
So, one of the things about enjoying your life, man, you have to be able to laugh. You have to be able to laugh. My next one will probably be having to do with this issue of all the time looking for something that you have all along, like glasses. So, nothing is more frustrating than looking for your glasses and you're going around saying, "Where are your glasses? Where are my glasses? I cannot. Oh, I'm so frustrated with myself. Oh, devil, you get out of here right now." And your glasses are on your face. So those are just some ideas. We'll have more, but if you got some, feel free to send them to me. Now, Margo.
Ooh.
Ooh, okay.
That's a tough question.
Right. No, it's not really a tough question at all because you've done great. I've enjoyed this interview. But it's hard to believe that you were someone who had low self-esteem, that didn't feel confident about yourself, because I have known you, like I said, going on 36 years. And I was trying to figure out the other day, because you were 36 when I met you, that I don't remember when you turned 50, except you reminded me that your husband at the time threw you a party.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember you turning 50. I don't remember you turning 60. And now can I say it?
Yeah.
Now you're 72 years young. And I just look back over knowing you all this life. You've always had the same spirit. You've always been a woman of God. God has always been important. You've changed some behaviors. Thank goodness. You've changed some behaviors, but your spirit has always remained the same. It's always been a young spirit, and you do things that are amazing for anybody. You do things that are amazing for a 30-something-year-old. So I really have appreciated our relationship, our friendship, and you have been a motivator. Part of the reason why I'm sitting here, other than God, is because you motivated me. You are a friend to have. And this is one thing about your purpose. Whenever you find your purpose, you have to surround yourself with some positive people. When you surround yourself with negative naysayers, you have to be around some positive people. And I was blessed to be with Margo, being one of the people in my circle that really encouraged me to do what I'm doing. So, thank you. I love you like a fat kid loves cake. Nothing against fat kids. Okay, so that concludes this show. Next week on our show, we're going to feature author Pastor Howard Turnley, who's going to be telling us about his new book, Blessed After 60. And I hope you join us for that. So, as I say all the time, as I will be saying, because this is the first show, so I can't say I say it all the time, but this will be my tagline for the show. If you're not dead, then God's not done. I hope you join us again. Thank you.